Hello, hello! Welcome to A Lonely Critic. My name is Anthony Renteria, and today I just got out of my screening for Doctor Strange 2 It's not Doctor Strange 2. And today I just got out of my screening for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, directed by the one and only Sam Raimi, and I don't know who the writer is because I did not look it up. Let me zoom this out a little bit. Anyways, immediate reactions. Oh, and as always, I am not going to spoil the movie. If you haven't seen this movie, do not to worry. I will not spoil anything, or I will try not to spoil anything. Sorry, I'm trying to fix this pen. My pen is broken. What are my immediate thoughts of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Okay, so many of y'all may know I'm not like the biggest MCU fan. I do love like all the world building. I love the characters. I love the ideas. I love the like powers, the metaphorical stuff that they've been playing with lately. I will say you have to watch the WandaVision show to understand, I guess, like the emotional crux of this film. And I don't think that's a spoiler because Wanda's in the trailers. It's obvious she's plays a huge role in this movie. And I think there is a lot. I can just imagine if I would have watched this movie without seeing WandaVision, I think I would have been severely disappointed because I don't think we get enough an emotional arc without that. So I would recommend that heavily. Watch WandaVision. First 3 episodes are super fantastic and lovely and good. My 2 friends that I've talked with about that show, Helen, Jeffrey, they both agree with me, and it's an awesome show. So it's worth watching just for the throwbacks to old school television and then all the world building that it allows that comes into play in this movie. So this movie, what did I think? I guess the immediate things I want to talk about are the thing that I was most excited about, which was the Sam Raimi-ness of it all. Does Sam Raimi get to play in his toolbox? If you don't know, Sam Raimi is like a hugely influential director of many facets. Primarily, I think what he's done in the horror and the superhero genre, famously Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, his work with the Evil Dead series, and then his work in other horror films that he's made that I haven't seen. He just has such a signature style and method of filmmaking that I think have inspired a lot of other filmmakers past him. And then it's also just there's certain shots that he does, you just know he's having fun, the performers are having fun, you know, the whole crew is having a blast, and then watching it in a theater, watching it just play out, period, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I think Sam Raimi does have a fun time in this movie. There was a lot of amazing shots. I mean, there's some shots that I was actually shocked that he managed to pull off in a Marvel film. I mean, there's like a couple sequences in this movie where he goes like full Raimi, and it's deliriously fun. Like, it's delicious. It's just so exciting and fun. I mean, there were some people who were like really excited and pumped up with certain characters showing up, because obviously this deals with the multiverse, so you see some interesting figures show up in this film that I will not spoil. But for me, the huge excitement was just the interesting shot designs and the compositions, and then the way he tethered sequences together in just insane, mind-numbing ways. You know, we get all the typical, well, not the typical, but all the special Sam Raimi shots. You know, we get the crash zooms where the camera's just flying to someone's face. We get the whip pans where the camera is just like spinning deliriously. We even get monster cams where we are the camera as a monster many times. And then we get just interesting ideas with like monsters and creatures, but also like prop design, or not prop design, but prop manipulation. Like, we have sequences where a bunch of objects are like coalescing and moving and doing interesting things there that I found really, really fun and exciting to see. But yeah, so like all that stuff was hugely fun, hugely exciting. So all that kind of stuff I really love, just the entire direction of this film. I think Benedict Cumberbatch gives a really good performance too. I think he really gives probably one of his best performances in the MCU so far. I think he has a lot to play with, playing multiple Stranges that we see. And you know, that's also in the trailer, so that's not spoiling anything. I'm sorry, I'm just super tired. Normally by 9 o'clock I am passing out. It is currently 9:50 and I am starting to pass out, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up pretty quickly here. So it's gonna be one of my shorter reviews. But yeah, I think Benedict Cumberbatch has a lot of fun. We have some new performers showing up. Forgot her name, the actress's name, something, I forgot, I'm sorry. But her character, America Chavez, I think she does a great job too. She captures like that that bubbling teenage energy that I think was well suited for the character. I'm trying to think who else I can mention without it being a spoiler. Oh, Elizabeth Olsen, of course, as Wanda. She does a fantastic job. I actually really like seeing her again after having seen WandaVision, and I think she has a good time playing up her performance. Now, I guess there's some bad things I want to talk about real quickly. I think the pacing in the beginning, middle, it's weird. It's like the pacing throughout the whole film, there was certain moments where the film like really just kind of shut down, and I'm not sure why or how it happened. But I don't know if it was just me as a viewer, like maybe I wasn't in the zone today because I was kind of exhausted and tired, or if it was the film. But there seems to be a lot of setting up plot-wise. There's like a lot of MacGuffins, you know, there's things that characters need to defeat other characters. And I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I get it. You know, every story kind of needs a MacGuffin or uses MacGuffins for things, but in this film, like, I don't know, I was just so confused because, you know, this film has a pretty perfect concept that I won't really dig into because I'm not sure if the trailer explains it all, but this film should feel like an endless pursuit and then an endless defense, and almost like a runaway kind of vibe is what I was hoping for, and it doesn't really capture that all the time. There's one sequence truly goes off the rails, and I had a lot of fun just watching it. Again, this film is hard to talk about without spoiling anything because a lot of this stuff they didn't show in the trailers, but oh, sorry. So, yeah, so there's a lot of, like, plot things that I think the film really struggles and chugs with. And I think it's just the pacing. I think maybe it was the writing, maybe it was the editing, maybe it was just the whole structure of it that kind of started breaking apart for me, where I was getting bored. But the moments where the film really starts gaining momentum, and it's just like sequences. Like, there's a sequence in the beginning that's fun, sequence in the middle that's fun, there's a sequence in the end that is just absolutely fun. I just think there could have been a better way to tie all the events together, almost as if, like, I wish it would have been just a cascading marathon, and I don't think it captures that at all. I think they have a brilliant villain to play with that would have been so easy to tie into that, but I think they really try to do a lot of, like, establishing and plot and story things that I think kind of slow it down and, like, choke up the cadence and the feel of the movie. It kind of stops it from being a great Marvel film. I think it's a good Marvel film. If you're a fan of the Marvel films, I think you'll have a good time. I think if you're a fan of Sam Raimi, you might actually have a better time than you even think. Oh, and then one sequence I really love, and I won't Jesus. One sequence that I really love that I won't really delve into too much, but there's a sequence where Doctor Strange is having a fight, and the way they use music in the scene is super cool and fun, and I thought it was awesome visually and then sonically, like how the score is playing with this fight sequence. I thought it was really fun and cool, and I love those unique ideas because with Strange, you know, I felt like the first movie, it was just a lot of, like, I didn't really enjoy the way he used his powers in the film, and in this film I really did enjoy how his powers were so kind of varied and imaginative because he is a sorcerer supreme, so it made a lot of sense. The other aspect I want to get into, gosh, it is so muggy and hot in Alabama. Doing reviews in my car is going to become very difficult. Anyways, other thing I want to talk about, I thought the score was pretty good for a Marvel film. I really enjoyed a lot of the sounds. I'm curious who did the score because it sounded a little better than average. The cinematography, like the shot designs by Raimi are spectacular, but again, something about the digital look of Marvel films that I don't enjoy too much, so that is not changed. And then the writing, I've kind of already talked about. I think structurally there's some issues. There's some character stuff that I think could have been executed better. I do like how they were trying to, there was a lot of establishing. Like, there was so many moments where you could tell they were setting things up for later in the film because they kept reiterating them in a very focused way, and I get it, and I get what they were trying to go for, but I think there's something about having some sort of nuance or some sort of, like, just showing something doesn't make it emotional. You have to feel it, and I think there's moments in this film that maybe they cut too much or maybe they cut too little. There is an interesting problem that happens when you're editing a film where I think, you know, you removing one scene could, like, really inadvertently affect other moments in big ways that you wouldn't normally normally think. Like, and it could be like a 5-second thing or a 2-second thing that can, you know, substantially change the whole vibe and mood of how something plays out. And maybe that happened in this film. I could really tell they were like really just using the absolute bare minimum of what needed to be done to satisfy this narrative. And I think we could have had more time, you know, sitting and lingering with characters. But then again, I'm an art house, you know, indie movie guy, so maybe that's just that part of me not satisfied with a big blockbuster. With all that being said, I think it was a fun movie. It was good. It was a good Marvel film. It was a lot better than the last couple Marvel films that we've had, in my opinion. Like, I thought it was better than Eternals. I enjoyed it more than Black Widow, and I enjoyed it more than, what was before Black Widow? Oh no, Shang-Chi. Actually, I think Shang-Chi is a better film than this, but this would be right below it. I had a good time. If you're a Sam Raimi fan, I highly recommend it because it's so fun seeing him back working again. I think it's been like 8 years or something ridiculous since he made a movie, and then that movie was Oz, and that was very, very bad. Well, it wasn't very, very bad, but it wasn't good. So I'm excited to hopefully see his career restart again with the success of this movie, and it does a lot of fun world-building things for the MCU that I think a lot of fans will be excited about. So that's going to conclude my review here, or my just immediate reactions. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good movie. It just had some structure problems, some weird pacing, but it was fun. The shot designs, the cinematography, with the exception of the color and grading, I think were just fantastic, phenomenal, amazing. Love seeing Sam Raimi do his thing. And yeah, so that's gonna end this. Thank you so much for watching this. Let me know what you thought about the movie. Am I wrong about the pacing? Was there something I missed or something that maybe I'm not gathering? Please leave in the comments below. If you like this, if you have any tips or suggestions for me to change, maybe not be sleepy, maybe have some sort of lighting in this place. I don't know. Probably won't change any of those things, but you can still leave a comment. And then subscribe and like this video if you do. If you don't, that is also great. And check out my other things below. I've recently restarted my film podcast, so that's called Cineverm. That'll be in the link below. And then also check out, I should have another channel starting in the next couple, I don't know. You'll see all my other stuff below. Links and stuff in my website and all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to me. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next week, hopefully with another movie.